we're looking at what is the difference between plant and animal cells and their organelles, like what's inside them. What's a cell membrane, cell wall, nucleus, cytoplasm, mitochondria, chloroplast, and vacuoles. So we've been studying plant animal cells, and here we have some human cheek cells. And there are humans are animals, and here we have some plant cells. Not onion cells, but some plant cells. So what do they both have in common? Well, they are both cells, and they're both eukaryotic, which means that they both have cells that have a nucleus. Eu means true, and kary means nucleus. So they both have a nucleus. And they both have these things called organelles. And organelles are just tiny structures that perform different functions in a cell. Just like your body has different organs and organ systems that perform different functions. Like your body has your circulatory system, and your circulatory system pumps the blood, and it has the heart and the blood vessels. And so within each cell, there's kind of like little organs called organelles. Now remember, organelles are like the organs in the body, and that makes sense because we know that a cell is alive. And in order for it to be alive, it has to be able to carry out those 6 characteristics of life. It needs to be able to reproduce, to grow and develop, respond to a stimulus. It uses and needs energy, and then has the chemicals of life. So all of these, right, things are performed by the organelles inside the cell. So each cell is alive, right? The organelle is not alive. The cell is the smallest unit that's alive. But you're alive, your heart's alive, the cells that make up your heart, the tissue is alive, and then the cell's alive. This organelle, this mitochondrion, is not alive. So you can go ahead and turn to this page if you're this page. We're going to go through the animal cell, and this is an animal cell. Now there are cells this is kind of a generic cell, meaning like it's just a general cell, but it has these parts in it. So lots of times cells look different because they perform different functions. This is kind of like your general cell. It has a cell membrane on the outside. Then it has a nucleus on the inside, this orange circle. Cytoplasm is this stuff in between. Mitochondrion here, you can see the squiggly lines. And vacuoles. These vacuoles are here. Okay, so we have the cell membrane, the nucleus, the cytoplasm, the mitochondrion, and the vacuoles. Okay, so go ahead and make sure you have those labeled. Mitochondrion, nucleus, vacuoles, cell membrane, cytoplasm. You can see there's other organelles, there are other organs inside, but these are the ones we are going to concentrate on. All right, please find this paper, your plant cell paper. And you can see that we have plant cell here. Now the plant cell is covered in this outer layer called the cell wall. And so you can see it's different right from the beginning. It has a cell wall, then there's a cell membrane underneath that, the orange nucleus, the mitochondrion right here, the vacuoles. And the vacuoles are a lot larger. We have them here. It's not looking so large in this. This is a vacuole. That's why. This is a vacuole right here. This red thing. So it's much bigger. And then the chloroplast is this green thing. So you can see for the things that are unique to plants, the cell wall, a large vacuole, which is right here, and a chloroplast. Those things are unique to plant cells instead of animal cells. So we have the cell membrane, the cell wall outside of that, the nucleus, the cytoplasm, the mitochondrion, and the vacuoles. And you can see that the cell wall, the large vacuoles, and the chloroplasts are highlighted in green because they are found in plants. Vacuoles are also found in animals, but they're large in plants. so you can write their functions. Okay, let's start from the outside of a plant cell. And outside of a plant cell, you're going to see that there is a plant cell wall. And the cell wall is what gives it structure. It's a stiff outer layer that gives structure to the plant, kind of supports the plant and allows it to grow tall. It protects the cell, right? Even though it's strong and sturdy, oxygen and water and carbon dioxide are allowed, can go in through the cell wall. Underneath the cell wall in both animal and plant cells is the cell membrane. And this allows things to go through, right? It's the outer layer in animal cells, but plant cells have that extra layer, that extra cardboard coating, which is the plant cell, the cell wall. So the cell membrane is kind of like the outside. It's kind of like, if you think of it like the house, it's kind of like the outside of the house or the outside of the apartment. It supports and protects and allows things to go in and out. And it has like a door that allows things and windows that allow things to go in and out of the apartment. So it controls the movement of things in and out of the cell, in and out of the apartment or the house. Okay, and it helps maintain a balance. Okay, so we said that both plant and animal cells have a nucleus, and you can see at the bottom here, we saw these in our onion cells. These are the nuclei. That's the plural of nucleus. Here of the animal cell. Okay, it's oval shaped in the center and edges. So here we have. It controls cell's activity. So it's kind of like the brain of the cell. Okay, it's like the director. It's the brain. It tells the cell what to do because it has the DNA. It has the nucleic acids. Okay. So inside every cell is this cytoplasm. The word cyto means cell, and plasm is just like plasma. So the cell membrane is on the outside of an animal cell. It's covered with a cell wall in a plant cell, but inside, this kind of gel-like fluid is found in both plant and animal cells. In fact, all cells, including bacteria and including fungal cells and protists. Just surrounds things, and it kind of keeps them, gives them support. And I think there's a lot we actually don't know yet about the cytoplasm. It always was thought of as like a jelly-like material, but I think there's actually a lot more that's going on in there that we're not so sure yet. It's kind of like the air inside your apartment or the inside the house that kind of surrounds everything. Okay, this was kind of hot pink in both of the models, and it had that squiggly structure. This is a mitochondrion, and that's the singular version. In plural, when we say it, we say mitochondria. So this I-O-N goes to an A, mitochondria. So it's found in both animal and plant cells. It's bean shaped, and it has these inner membranes, kind of like squiggly, 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 squiggly. And this is what it does. It takes the energy that we get from food. Our stomach digests it, breaks it down into smaller and smaller parts until it's broken down to a simple sugar. This simple sugar is now small enough to enter into the mitochondria, and what comes out of the mitochondria is pure energy. It's ATP, the energy that cells need in order to do any work. So for that reason, people call it the powerhouse. It's kind of like the furnace, right? Where you keeps your apartment warm, right? Or keeps your house warm. You have a furnace where it kind of takes in energy like fuel, like gas or oil, and converts it into heat. It kind of keeps everything going. Okay. So we talked about a vacuole, and the vacuole was found in both plant and animal cells, but it is really big. You can see it's huge here. It's really big in plants. And it's really big in plants because what do plants need to do? they need to be able to store water, okay, and food. And so when a plant is droopy, it's because its vacuoles are empty. And when you water it, it replenishes all the water and then fills up the vacuoles. Okay. So it's not just storing water, it also is also storing like waste and just things kind of like your storage area, like your before you flush the toilet, kind of flushing it there. It's fluid filled sac. This is something you can see green, 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 green. These are green discs, and these are chloroplasts. Chloro meaning green, plast meaning like a sac or a container. So they're green sacs. It's found in plant cells only. It's green, they're oval, and it contains the pigment, chlorophyll. And this chlorophyll is what captures the sun's energy. It is able to convert the sunlight and water and carbon dioxide into sugar for the plant to use, into oxygen for other organisms to breathe out. Let me go back one. I'm just wondering, did you see anything green in your onion? Think about that. Do you see anything green in your onion? Sorry, I just moved my desk closer. You didn't. Why is that? Even though an onion is a plant cell, you didn't see anything green. And the reason why you didn't see anything green is because the onion grows underground. And so that part of the onion doesn't need to have chloroplasts, right? As soon as it's exposed to light and growing new cells, the cells will produce chloroplasts so that it can get energy and food from the light. Okay, here we have the cell wall again, right? So we said plant cells have large vacuoles, they have chloroplasts, and they have cell wall to give them structure, kind of like a cardboard outside the wall, outside the cell to help them grow strong. Okay, so now I would like you guys to fill out both your plant and animal cell Venn diagram. What do they have similar? Will go in the center. What's unique to plant cells? What's unique to animal cells? Okay, making sure you can tell the difference between the structure of plant and animal cells. What does a cell membrane, cell wall, nucleus, cytoplasm, mitochondria, and chloroplast, and vacuole? What do they all do? All right, see you later. Go Sounders.